All right, good morning everyone. It's about 30 degrees. I'm going to be putting on the Rough Country Retract side step on this 2022 1500 crew cab. All right, I've installed the left brackets. Pretty straightforward. I didn't get underneath to film anything because there's not much to it. The 2022 Ram already comes with bolts pre-installed. You just screw onto them. Here are the bolts that are already on the 2022 Ram. The brackets for the Rough Country go right on this. Front, middle, and rear. All right, Rough Country Retract side rail brackets are on. Right and left, they went on pretty easily. The back right was somewhat problematic with the threads. Most of them went on with your fingers, but back right, use a wrench from the start. You could possibly clean them with a brush if you've been driving for a bit and there's dirt. Time to install the control mount and harness. They say to look under the driver's side dash. Looks like we can mount it on this, which is already installed. This little bracket right here, we can put it right there. It's on the driver's side underneath. Okay, now they say to roll the carpet back. The 2022 has these clips that come out. They pop out pretty easily. There's a clip underneath there. Roll this back out of the way. And then this is the cap. You're gonna cut around. And then this cap comes out. If you look underneath the vehicle, you can see where this cap pops down through the frame. So they tell you to cut around this plug, to pop the plug out. This is a very dense material, doesn't cut very well. This is not easy to get out. I ended up just drilling right through it, half-inch bit or so. At the end of the day, this just needs to be able to fit through this left motor harness. Is going to come up through the underneath. As long as this fits through there, that's fine. And you can use a sealant when you're done to seal that hole. Okay, so here's the middle left with the motor. There's the harness wire that runs up. This again is going up through the base of the driver's side. You can put the wires above. There are existing wires here. Use those to hang the wire, keep it out of the way, and it runs up over the front bracket, and then it goes up into the body, right through the, there's that little hole that was drilled for the harness. It goes up through there. Okay, this is the passenger side, running the right harness wire up through the floor, drilled a hole. So here's a problem with this. There's nowhere to go with this wire. I think you have to get it back over to the right side. This is super tight under here. There's no hole, no gap, no nothing. Instructions in step 26 say to make sure the wire is routed under the carpet, then reinstall a carpet clamp and scuff plate back to the vehicle. Doesn't tell you at all where to go with that wire or which way it's supposed to go. It just says route it under the carpet. Doesn't make any sense, unfortunately. I did speak with a rep there at Rough Country, explained to him. He wasn't quite sure on how to get it over to the driver's side. So what I'm going to do is take it back out of the floor and run it underneath the vehicle because there's no getting over there that I can see from passenger to driver's side. These instructions need to be redone. All right, photo 26, step 27, locate the fuse powering wiring harness. Install the fuse power wiring to the battery and secure it under the vehicle. Here's the wiring harness. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fish it down through. There's an open area just on the inside, down over the wheel well. We can use, keeps it away from the things. You can wire it across there, jump down in. The problem with going down into this mess is that underneath you start to deal with the heat potential. All these other wires are wrapped in heat protective coating, and this harness isn't. So you're going to run into an exhaust heat issue potentially with your wiring. So I'm going to take it underneath the wheel well under there and bring it down. Stay away from the exhaust heat. All right, so here we are. The power's been hooked up. I got it all wired. Didn't put the boards on yet, but the arm drops down when the door opens. Goes back in when the door shuts. Does that for the back door as well. Came back down. Goes back up. So what I had to do was switch the wiring. They were mislabeled. Right and left were not labeled correctly from the module. I did install them, and then I opened the door and I didn't see anything move, and I went to the other side and the other arm was down, and then vice versa. Open the passenger door to the right, the driver's side would come down. So all I did there was just switch them underneath. It says to secure the carpet again before this step, but I left it exposed just to make sure that the wiring is right. But these two were mislabeled, it appears, and I had to just switch the connectors. I also put the 2-pin connector, it's there, up into this. That worked, and I grounded right there. All the wires are coming in. I will also say that the LED connectors, the light and wires, are not in the directions at all. I suspect this is because they have not redone the directions since the lights were not done. I think the lights were added on after the fact. And the LED light connectors also have to go down through that hole to either side and run with the previous wires. The LED light comes in, and I believe it mounts to these brackets here, these clips, so it'll go down with the step. But just again, there were no instructions for those in the booklet. Okay, putting on the boards now. Step 38 says center on the vehicle and snug the hardware. So centered on the mounts the first time through. The mount will hit in the front, back up there, and so it's not centering on the board itself, it's centering on the vehicle, it seems. When installing the boards, I want to make sure the front, when closed, sits just behind the mud flap casing. And what that looks like when it's open is at the front of the board is only 4 or 5 inches ahead of the first bracket. and it does drop back just beyond the pickup bed. Here they are, the Rough Country Retract side rails. That's where they sit. Not too low, but the brackets do sit lower than anything else on the vehicle. I only have a leveling kit from Rough Country on this. I did not lift it. It's just leveled. They work well. See how they hold up. Set it up so it comes up just under the front of this. Just shy of that. Again, when it opens, there's a back door. It does drop back, so you can potentially use it a little bit to step into the truck bed.